Hello YouTube. Kurumkan is a rural locality, selo in Russian, and the administrative center of Kurumkansky district of the Republic of Buryatia, Russia, located 413 kilometers from the city of Ulan-Ude, and not far at all from Lake Baikal. The name Kurumkan comes from the Evenk language and means a stone river. The Evenks are a Tungustic people of North Asia. In Russia, the Evenks are recognized as one of the indigenous peoples of the Russian North. And in China, the Evenks form one of the 56 ethnic groups officially recognized by the People's Republic of China. The nature in Kurumkan has supernatural power. Residents of the district are sure about it. So, in the very center of the village, there used to be 3 pine trees. Since ancient times, they had been considered sacred. People who tried to desecrate these sprawling trees were punished. And that's according to the Kurumkan District Public Social Network. And the reports presented there. It's the Russian equivalent of Facebook. It's called Vkontakte. That's where they put this information in. In the village, on the Shkolna street, on the ancient shamanic place of the Evenks, there were old dry pines. Not a single person in any surrounding village dared to cut them down, although such attempts had been made more than once. In the mid-1970s, a team of Lithuanians and Belarusians working on the construction of a school agreed to knock down one of the trees standing on the roadway and interfering with traffic. So the first person who tried it was injured in the following way. The chain that flew off the chainsaw wrapped around his hands like handcuffs. When another team came a week later, the worker's arm was torn off in the same way by a broken chain. Now, those pines, they were prayed to, and of course prayed for. They were the ones who grew up on the land of the Evenks from the time immemorial, and houses and roads were built around them. But the authorities looked at this differently. The pines, you see, then began to interfere with the traffic. So food, coins were placed on trees, and hot dogs were tied to them. The Evenk spirit lived in them. That's what local resident Bulat is sure about. Hadak is a ritual long scarf, one of the Buddhist symbols. So Hadak is a long, narrow scarf, and in Mongolia and Tibet, it's a sign of respect, friendship, and good wishes. Since the Soviet times, attempts by the local administration to remove the pine tree ended in the same way. The tool broke down or did not start at all. So interestingly, very interesting that in other places the equipment worked properly. As a result, the tree was recognized as sacred and people began to worship it. The Buryats are sure that a powerful spirit lives in it, the patron saint of all local trees. On the way to the school, Lyubov had to pass by that dry pine tree. They have always been sacred. There was such a belief among local people. For the tree to do nothing to the person, they need to pay off with a coin. When Lyubov did not have any money with her, she went around the tree. That's what the young local woman recalled. By now, today, those pines on Shkolna Street are no longer there. 2 pine trees fell by themselves. The last one, the authorities decided to take a risk and cut down in the year 2013. Well, and this is still remembered with horror by local residents. Around 1995, the oldest of the pines, which had outlived its time, fell. Naturally, the pine tree lying in the center of the village had to be taken out of the village. But none of the locals dared to do it because they were afraid of the wrath of the spirit of the three pines. A non-local tractor driver who knew nothing about the power of the three pines agreed to remove the pine tree for a fee. The tractor driver took out the pine tree, took it away, but a few days later he died after getting into an accident on the tractor, with which he removed the pine tree from the village. Interestingly, in the comments to the post, the old-timers confirm that there really were such trees in the village. One comment writer stated the following: "This is not nonsense, this is a real fact." He remembers the big three pine trees, fluffy, which were noisy from the wind. They all knew from the childhood that they were sacred, those trees. In his opinion, they were the talisman, the good luck charm, of the old Kurumkan. It didn't work out well. It's a pity for the tractor driver, and people knew but didn't say anything. That's from other comments. However, besides the living trees in Kurumkan, other mystical events took place there. In the same public discussion, they recall about another mysterious phenomenon. This incredible event happened at the beginning of 1972. One frosty morning, amazing things took place in the house of one of the old-timers of the small village. Stools fell, someone knocked in the corners, rolled potatoes on the floor. Well, today any schoolboy who would say that this is called poltergeist, or even simpler in Russian barabashka, and I mentioned the term in my other videos and described what it is. In those years, such words were not known, and it was not customary to talk about such phenomena for which there is no explanation. You do understand that we lived in the forced upon us atheistic state, and anything religious or some supernatural, this was not liked by the Communist Party. Anyway, the man cursed furiously at what was happening, and in the end an unknown person hit the most zealous cussing man on the back with a metal fireplace poker. Visitors from other surrounding villages began to flock to that village, to Kurumkan. The case was widely known in the area, so the authorities were forced to react. The secretary of the district committee, the editor of the district newspaper, the chairman of the collective farm, the director of the secondary school, the police chief, they all came to that village. The High Commission sat out decorously for 3 whole hours. They drank a whole samovar of tea, but nothing happened. As soon as the guests left, everything started all over again. Over time, people began to notice that this someone's behavior is similar to that of a hooligan tomboy bully. Casually, he would open the tap of the hot samovar, that's the contraption we used to make tea in. He would release all the water from the wash basin, or he would launch a potato at someone present in the house. Well, a veteran Bolshevik, that's a seasoned Communist Party member, lived in the village of Kurumkan, and he was the member of the party since 1926. He was listed as an inflexible atheist, firmly believed in Communist Party ideals, and until the last moment accused his fellow villagers of frivolity, reproached them with having a sick imagination, something like progressive professors on American university campuses. You give them the power to control your lives, and they will be as relentless and hard-headed as the veteran Bolsheviks, and I speak from experience. Back to the story. But still, one day, people persuaded the local Bolshevik to visit the ill-fated house. And then something happened, from which the veteran almost had a stroke. In an absolutely empty room, the printed materials of the Communist Party Congress were torn to shreds, and then they rained down on him, sprinkling him from head to toe. It should be noted that this mysterious hooligan did not touch the classical literature. He didn't destroy the good things. He didn't touch the clothes of the house owners. Obviously, he didn't like socialist ideas and those who promote them. Well, gradually, everyone somehow began to get used to the hooligan Barabashka, stopped being practically afraid, and began to make attempts to contact him. They treated him, the creature, respectfully and asked him not to mess around, to put things in place, not to make noise. He quieted down, and one fine morning he disappeared as unexpectedly as he appeared, according to the posting on the social network ВКонтакте. This is what I wanted to let you know of this village, not too far from the fabulous Lake Baikal that contains so many secrets. I want to thank you for your attention to my work, and if you can support me, please kindly do so through the links you will see in the description to this video. Please like my videos and tell others about my channel. Thank you.